Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley, and this is episode number 144 of the Corona Diaries. It's a gross. It's officially a gross of Corona Diaries episodes, and we thank y'all so much for being here for this one. So I mentioned earlier in the week, we've got 2 more weeks of these thrice weekly episodes, and then we're going to be going back to our weekly format here on the free show, but that also frees up way more time to put out what I hope to be tons of new bonus content over at patreon.com/thegoodspod. If you enjoy this show and you got $5, head over there now and get access to over 100 hours of bonus content and growing all the time. Also, I mentioned earlier in the week, but I'll go ahead and say it again here, I'm putting together a best of clip show for the whole run of the Corona Diaries. I've already gotten lots of you writing in and sending us bits and different things to, kind of include in the show. But hey, I could always use more. If there's something that we've done over the last 143 episodes that made you laugh, tweet it at me. I'm at Rivers Langley or at the Goods Pod. The DMs are open. And, if you can, it would be very helpful to include a date or an episode number, timestamp, just if you can. That would definitely help me out when it comes to editing this crazy thing together. So anyway, on to the show today. I'm going to be talking to 2 of my absolute favorite people in the whole world, not just the comedy world, the whole world. The hosts of the Into the Abiscuit podcast, Drew Morgan and D.J. Lewis. And let me say this, the best part, honestly, about doing stand-up, besides just, getting on stage, getting laughs, stuff like that, the best part is being able to meet people like Drew and DJ, just 2 of the most unique and hilarious individuals I have ever come across, and talking to them is always just such a pleasure. So I really, really hope you enjoy our chat. Drew was in the middle of driving to a gig in Alabama, so me and DJ just kind of talk one-on-one for about 45 minutes, and then Drew buzzes in, and we have ourselves a time, you understand. So obviously we're going to talk more about it during the episode, but you can check out Drew and DJ at the Strike Fest fundraiser this weekend at the United Mine Workers of America, local 2397 in Brookwood, Alabama. They are going to be there alongside our previous guest from the week, Bains III and his amazing band, The Glory Fires, plus a solo performance from Mike Cooley from the Drive-By Truckers. There is a $20 suggested donation to get into the show, and if you can't make it down to Alabama in person, you can do what I'm going to do. Pop some popcorn, crack a rip it, get out your wallet, and tune into the stream of the show at youtube.com/The Valley Labor Report. They're going to be doing a marathon stream all weekend. It's going to be starting Friday, going all the way through Sunday. And, I'm just saying there's a small chance that you might see a certain dum-dum Alabama comedian zooming in from Hollywood pop up on that stream to chop it up at some point. Maybe it's Saturday night. Who knows? Stay tuned to at the Good Spot on Twitter for more info on that. But anyway, that stream, it's going to have all of the info on how to donate to this extremely worthy cause, and it's going to be a kick-ass show, I can assure you. Okay, I am done talking. Now let's do some talking. Corona Diaries number 144 with DJ Lewis and Drew Morgan of Into the Abiscuit starts right now. Calling in now from Chickamauga, Georgia, it is the original Gutter Bumpkin, my friend, DJ Lewis. What's up, DJ?
Man, it's good. It's good. I know that. I can't call what it is exactly, but I know it's good.
Dude, I'm so happy to talk to you, man. We haven't the last time you were on the show, I was on the road doing a show with you in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we were chatting on Whalen Whiskey's front porch. So this is a bit different, but
yeah,
but still good to see your face.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. It's good to know that we're versatile like that. We can move through the motions and we can bring it together.
Yeah, man.
God bless technology.
Yeah, man. Hillbillies 2.0. We're doing this shit. We got it.
Because it's been a crazy thing, man. I tell you, man, in the podcast world, especially like with some of the stuff that we do with Into the Abiscuit, we're always talking to like organizers and stuff like that, Southern organizers, and like we were just talking to Ray from the Country Queers, who their oral history project. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. And it's like they've got to literally, where she lives, they've got to wait until a sumbitch dies for them to get internet. So like, or leave. They either got to move or they got to, like, you have to wait for a slot to open up.
It's like a rent-controlled apartment.
Yeah, basically, yeah, man. I mean, like, it's crazy. So, like, yeah, man, working with like rural people and rural areas it's been something with the internet, the broadband, the just that entire situation is crazy with country folks.
Well, dude, I'll ask you about this. Have you seen? There's a new documentary series on HBO Max called Generation Hustle.
Yes,
it was brought to my attention because there's an episode called The Alabama Exit, which is all about this giant hustle that went on in Opelika that I was kind of like tangentially following just because it involved John McAfee, the guy who started McAfee Antivirus, and anything he's involved with, because he like probably killed his neighbor in Belize and got away with it. Like he's a complete maniac, and so that like. My ears shot up when I just heard John McAfee and Opelika in the same sentence. I was like, uh-oh, this ain't good. But I hadn't really followed the story, but it is all about exactly what you're talking about, where basically Opelika created fiber optic broadband internet as a public utility, which is what it should be. As a way, I mean, honestly, it was an economic incentive to kind of bring in software companies and stuff like that to use this utility and save a lot of money on their internet and stuff like that. And of course, it ended up inviting this complete huckster who swindled, a couple $1 million out of people's pockets and then went to jail. But yeah, that episode I highly recommend it. But the sad thing is, they've since, as far as I know, more or less shut it down.
The fiber optic, they don't have.
They're back. What? Yeah, they're back to privately controlled. Like they went back. Yeah,
what?
And I don't think it's necessarily because of this shithead who did the con, but it certainly didn't help.
Right.
So yeah, it's one of those things. They're just like one step forward, two steps back, no matter what.
Yeah, man, that seems to be the way with especially you notice in the South, like any amount of progress is going to have this like. It's going to create a room for shenanigans.
Yeah.
Oh boy, shenanigans.
Yes.
Where they're really good at. Oh boy, shenanigans. Like somebody's going to have a cousin that wants to own a company that has like, you know what I mean? The telephone company down here is like that.
Yeah. The shit that goes everywhere. I mean, even in California, as soon as they legalized marijuana, they gave all of the big contracts a gigantic speed bump of thousands and thousands of dollars to actually become a person who can legally cultivate and distribute recreational marijuana, which cuts out this gigantic swath of growers and leads to even more violence and more craziness up in Northern California. So it's not just a Southern problem. It's an American problem. Anytime there's progress, there is always going to be shenanigans from heavily moneyed interests.
Yeah, man. They have a special way of fucking people. And just leaving them fucked too. Yeah. On top of that, like that's been the craziest thing watching the weed thing. Is like seeing like at first it's like your eyes get all starry and you're like, what, weed's legal?
Yeah,
what? You know what I'm saying? But then you start going, wait, there's still people in prison. Number one, y'all are still locking people up. You know what I mean? Like, what? Wait, hold up. Like, there's some bullshit going around.
I just read a story about a guy in Mississippi who he made an appeal to the Mississippi Supreme Court, serving life in prison for having over an ounce of pot in Mississippi.
It's fucking mad. That's madness.
Yeah.
That's fucking madness, man.
Yeah.
Like every single pot grower out there with any fucking bit of balls on them should be fucking standing up. They should be organizing. They should be demanding that they let these people be free.
Yeah.
And they should give them all fucking jobs.
Yeah.
Piece of shit, motherfucker.
Anyway. Any guess as to what race he might be?
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, it's definitely that. I mean, like he had their whole thing is like, well, he had a prior criminal history, like he had done some burglaries, and then also he got arrested for a bunch of weed, and they put him in jail forever because of the weed. And it's like, weed and burglaries are not related,
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he probably wasn't burglarizing because he's high.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's like if I, burned down a building and then you arrested me for, writing bad checks. Like those two things are not, they don't have anything to do with each other.
Dude, fuck it. And that's the terrible thing about another thing about the South, and I don't know how they do it elsewhere, but these faith-based rehabs.
Oh, God.
Ooh, son. And most of the people, a lot of people in there for meth, but there's a lot of people in there for fucking, when I was in there for weed and young kids and stuff like that. And it's just like, boy, you want to talk about just turning a mother. Either they become so cult like they get brainwashed by the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it is very much like a cult.
Sure.
But either that or they completely go insane, and that's what you see every single time. There's no the money that they invest. There's no, and it's weird that there'd be faith-based rehabs involved with the state. And that would be an option. I don't know, man. The justice system is terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why I just thought of this, but I just watched the A&E biography of Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
And they were talking about his conversion and how it kind of saved his life and stuff. And I actually am, that if that's what you need to help you, that's good on you. But there was a funny moment where Triple H goes, as far as his conversion goes, I've never heard of anybody overdosing on religion. And I was like, I could think about 900 in Guyana back in 79, but okay, sure. I can think.
Yeah. Hey, man, let me tell you something. There's a lot of motherfuckers around here done OD'd on goddamn God. I'm going to tell you right now, God and Trump make a motherfucker high, son, and make them high, make them dumb, son. Woo, boy. Believe it. I will never forget. I was working up here at the Dollar General. I was working, and it was during the pandemic and shit, man, and like church had let out on Sundays, man, and here comes just like an old spill of a petri dish of disease that's been in church all day, flooding into the Dollar General maskless, and it's terrible. And then the shit that they were saying, and this was when I first became aware, like the whole Q phenomenon, and which I'm in Marjorie Taylor Greene's district.
I know. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
So it's why, but I didn't know that it was being that conspiracy was being ingrained in the church like it was until like this old ass lady came up to me and was legit talking about how 5G Satan getting into microchips, getting into into cell towers, getting into all this shit, and I was just like, man, what are you talking about? Like, this isn't even the regular God stuff that I'm used to. You
right.
know what I'm saying? Like, this is like a whole new level of insane. Like, you guys just keep on topping each other. And it's just like, it wasn't as if, like, a motherfucker being raised from the dead and walking on water and shit, like, wasn't fantastic enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we got a goddamn bring fucking 5G into this? What the fuck? we got
to have microchips. Do you ever think those alien conspiracy guys from the 90s, like Bob Lazar, the guy who claimed to work at Area 51 and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. Do you ever think they were like kind of kicking themselves in the ass looking at QAnon being like, damn, church, that's why we should have spun this?
Yeah.
No one listened to us. We had to stick to like the History Channel and Unsolved Mysteries and shit.
Right. Yeah, man, dude, what is it about though that they're so... Obviously, there's a great deal of this area of, I would say, white supremacist. I don't know how else to say that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
And I do believe that there's a type of racism that's just plain ignorance that comes from, which we all know that. You're ingrained with these thoughts, and you get ate up with that religion. You're scared of going to hell. You don't give a fuck about the earth. Right. You know what I'm saying? Your whole mission is to get to heaven.
Yeah.
And the only thing you know is this weird whiteness that gets fucking ingrained, and it's just like, how can you let yourself get like that? I don't know.
Yeah, we just did a Patreon episode about that Q Into the Storm documentary with my friend Brandy Posey and Anna Valenzuela, and one of the things that we talked about a lot in that episode is the fact that like a lot of this stuff, and this is going to sound weird, but I think it's true, honestly kind of works like an improv game where you just yes and whatever crazy shit, where you accept a certain base amount of belief, and then somebody comes in, it's like, oh, you think that's crazy, guess what, this is also happening, and then you just go, oh, and you think that's crazy, well, this is also happening, and you just kind of build this weird tower of insane beliefs. So that's how you can kind of rapidly go from like, I'm going to go to church on Sunday, to cut to a few weeks later, you're breathing all over DJ at the Dollar General and saying a bunch of crazy shit. It's like, it happens fast.
But, what is the root of that, though, is what I'm trying to figure out. Is it the belief or is it the fear? And you hate to get into that whole fucking Donnie Darko situation, but it's got to be one or the other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's either your faith in this thing or it's your fear of the repercussions. Of course, being in such an authoritarian state, like people only know violence and they only respect authority.
Yeah,
but not respect it in a way that's healthy.
No, fear it.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. No, I think that's right. I think it's. I mean, that is a good question whether it comes down, but I don't know. I would try to split the baby and say that fear is like the root cause of a lot of it, but just accepting something ridiculous on its face in the first place, and then you kind of light that fire of fuel underneath that pot of cold water, and then it's just gonna be a matter of time before eventually you're getting more and more stuff going into that soup, if I can make a weird metaphor.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Man, it's just so weird. It's so weird to see how people who I have respected and grew up with, and like being at this point in time, being like, McDonald's workers they better get back in. I'm like, dude. Like how can you be saying this? Like, buddy, you lied to the courts and told them you were homeless because you didn't want to pay child support, you piece of shit. What the fuck? Fucking
I always have to keep that in mind, and it actually is the thing that has really helped me from not really weighing in as much on social media, is that every time you see somebody write something crazy, you just have to know in your heart of hearts that somewhere someone is reading that and they know that person and they're like, that guy is full of shit, and they have a list of reasons.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So that's always comforting to me.
Yeah. I do it with my family a lot, and I've thought about like blocking them and stuff, and like, man, I've never blocked anybody, mainly just because I feel like those motherfuckers need to hear what the fuck I got to say. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's always funny to see them, and I'm like, I know y'all motherfuckers. Like, I know y'all.
Yeah, I don't often quote the scripture here, but I'll go Matthew 7:5. Take the log out of your own eye, and then you can see how to take the speck out of your friend's eye. That's a great joke. Bible doesn't get enough credit. That's a fucking hilarious joke. It's like you're sitting there with a giant stump in your fucking face, and it's like you're judging other people. It's like, yeah, man, everyone's full of shit to some degree. So take it down. Take it down a notch, please.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like all that fucking dude. And the craziest thing is like seeing all these people growing up in the South and like seeing like it was all about we're gonna be an outlaw, Indian outlaw, we're gonna be goddamn, we're gonna be out here, but and that shit fucking flipped, boy, goddamn did it flip, man. It was like, what the fuck happened to y'all? Y'all are just like, what? Y'all are like, holy shit.
You know what? I think you said that on the first time you were on this show in like 2015. You were just like, when did rednecks start loving police? And I always thought about that.
I've never in my life, dog. I've never in my life, man. It's still baffling to me today. The motherfuckers that I know hiding in a shed smoking meth. Blue Lives Matter. What are you talking about?
I saw somebody made a hilarious meme. It's like this guy kind of dressed up as a cowboy, and it says, I love two things, outlaw country and the law. Or like respecting the boys in blue or something like that. That's just like hilarious. There was something I saw. I'm against doctors' orders for my mental health. I am on a local community Facebook page for Opelika and Auburn, where people just post things, and usually it's pretty tame because Auburn, Opelika, say what you will, people are not as out there as my other one that I'm in, which is the Arab Alabama Awareness page. That's right. There's a town in Alabama called Arab.
All right.
That one's a little more lit usually. But
Walker County's page, stay lit.
I might have to join that. If anyone listening has a recommendation for a wild ass local Facebook page, I am all about it. They're my favorite.
Do Walker Counties.
Yeah, but there was one I just saw like yesterday where someone was basically posting this thing about a person in front of her in line at the gas station was yelling at the person working the counter at the gas station for IDing her, which is, bullshit. It's like, yeah, you got a fucking ID, okay? Just chill out. Leave this person alone. They don't get paid enough to hear your bullshit. But just like a perfect example of this was someone just posted, this customer must be a Democrat. Have to show an ID for alcohol and tobacco. Hard to read the small numbers on driver's license. I see the cashier needing to hold it. And like, I wasn't even mad. I was just like, what? what does that first thing have to do with anything? Like, I get that. Yeah, like, I don't know. I posted, I genuinely just want Sharon to explain what she thought she was trying to say here. Like, step by step, take me through the mental process that went into this comment. And she just says, watch the news and an explanation is not needed. And I was like, Sharon, you're ducking my question. Please explain your comment to me. It's just me and you. Tell me what the initial comment means. I've been looking at it like the Sphinx, and it won't unlock its mystery to me. So I'm still waiting on a response. But yeah, just shit like that where you're just like, I'm so confused. Like, the anger towards the other side has taken just such a weird turn more than anything. Like, it's obviously very blunt and very direct in some places, you know, but in other ways, you're just like, why are you mad at us about this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It doesn't make, it doesn't, I get so tired of, like, really, man, I don't really feel like I fall into any, like, I have Republican friends. I don't have too many conservative friends. They don't really be too tough. But I do have Republican friends, and I work with people who are, you know, of different varying degrees of whatever you'd want to call them isms.
Sure.
And I just don't ever, I feel so weird calling myself that, or even calling anyone else that. It felt like such a weird, it's weird that you don't have another name for, like, Trumpers or, like, whatever, for this specific classification of individual who is like a certain way.
Taking a turn for the weird. Like,
yeah.
Because that's what it is on some degree. It's like, you know, like, people who are just, like, kind of boring, regular conservative people. It's like, okay, I can, you know, I firmly disagree, but I can kind of see where your worldview and how you were brought up maybe skewed you in that direction, whatever, just as, you know, the way I was brought up skewed me in one direction. I kind of can understand that on some level, but some of it has taken such a surreal turn where you're like, are you listening to what is coming out? It's so wild, the shit you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't even know. We were talking about this the other day with Trey and them, talking about, would you take a drug that allowed you, like, 2 hours inside the mind of, like, a QAnon shaman?
Yeah. Good question. I don't know. Maybe. I am
like,
curious.
Just get in there and you get, it could be like either a John Malkovich situation. It could either be like that.
Yeah.
Or you just get to be, like, sort of like in the Matrix, kind of like flipping around, going, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, looking at all the numbers and, like, you know, any situations you want to be that just, would you do it?
Yeah, I John Malkovich, sure, just to kind of be inside the brain or whatever for a little bit, and then spit out on I guess it wouldn't be a freeway in New Jersey; it'd be like a dirt road somewhere in Tennessee or something. But I think I could go for that.
Well, shit, man, really, man, you don't know that you could be flying in a plane, dude. Or, like, those motherfuckers came, like, those motherfuckers are wild, son.
Yeah, that's true.
They come from all. It's weird though that you never saw any of the rich folks get goddamn locked up. I mean, once again, here's a weird situation. And again, with that situation with Buddy getting locked up, and then you see what his lawyer said?
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday, actually.
Okay, yeah, of course you did. But my whole thing about that is, like, if you could imagine being that sumbitch's lawyer, and all the mail, and all the, like, phone calls, and all the, like, of course you're like, look, these people are fucking stupid.
Right,
That's the only defense. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. He's fucking dumb. He's fucking dumb. He's a fucking idiot.
I mean,
you'd be 100% right.
Yes, and I honestly, like, on some level, and I have, like, friends who are lawyers and stuff like that, and I understand that, like, you have to be within the parameters of the law in terms of how you defend somebody, but we are reaching a point where the day will come when that is someone's defense. The lawyer will just stand up and be like, this man's a dumbass.
How is he not guilty?
Right. I could see being a defense lawyer and just going over to the jury and just being like, look, you all know a dumbass, right?
Yeah.
Your kid might be a dumbass. Your best friend might be a dumbass.
Yeah.
You know the guy who's just like, hey, y'all watch this, and then tries to jump over a fire at a party while drunk.
Yes.
That's what we're dealing with here, okay? It's not a good defense, but it's the truth. Like, that's...
that's the truth. And I mean, dude, that's right, man. Like, years of propaganda not seen since Hitler.
Yes.
Is what he said. And I mean, it's like, okay, number one, I don't think it was that bad.
Right. Yes.
But as far as being dumb goes, yeah, buddy, they dumb.
Right. Well, and and I think it is to some degree, back to the religion thing, like the way that people do like speaking in tongues, for instance, which is just a thing where everyone around you's doing it. So you're like, oh, okay, now I'm into it. Or, there are the guys like Benny Hinn does this, and a lot of those like televangelists where they do the thing where it's like the power of Christ compels you, and they smack you on the forehead and people just go down, right? And I can see getting kind of caught up in that sort of fervor, but the difference is you're not around a bunch of people, you're by yourself, but because you're online, you have a bunch of people validating you in that very same way. So I think it might just be kind of a mania that's ginned up by inclusion. Like, that's the best answer that I think I have for it, where it's like people that maybe they didn't have an outlet. Nobody would talk to them otherwise. It's the reason that
the pandemic hit, and Lord have mercy,
gasoline on the fire. Yeah, 100%.
I will say, as far as that, man, you ever seen a goat sleep like that? Look at this goat.
By the way, DJ has a goat hanging out in the background, and it is adorable. This is oh my God, what is that goat's name?
Miss Nessie.
Miss Nessie. Oh man, that's a beautiful animal.
Yes, she is, man. We're making a playpen. It's basically like it's an art piece, really, making a statement about just rural art and community and rural art. Well, a bunch of different things. We've had different artists contribute to it.
Cool.
Yeah, man. We had Carl Unish. We had John Trotter. Andrea, myself, so hopefully we're making it to where it's a functional art piece so we can take out with baby goats and set it up and people can go out there and add art, bring some epoxy and some glitter, bring whatever, maybe make it into a spaceship or something like that.
Nice. I will say, every time I talk to DJ Lewis, you have the most interesting projects going on every single time.
I'm always trying something, man.
Yeah.
It don't always work out, dude, but I'm gonna keep on going.
Yeah, no, every time I talk to you, you got 10 things that I'm just like, wow, that's incredible. I don't if
I could finish one.
Hey, man.
Well, I tell you what, man, I plan on keep on doing just everything, living. I tell you, it's something special.
Yeah. Well, in just a minute here, I believe we got your co-host from Into the Abiscuit, Drew.
Oh, it's about to get rowdy in this motherfucker. Y'all better watch out.
Yeah, Drew Whitney Morgan is going to be zooming in just a moment. But in the meantime, I wanted to share this with you, DJ, and just kind of get your take on this. So this is from Jefferson City, Missouri. The Missouri legislative session ended Friday, and now it's up to the governor to approve the measures that the General Assembly sent to his desk. One item that Governor Parson will not be signing is Rush Limbaugh Day in Missouri. That day was to be...
What?
They were trying to get... This day was supposed to be every year on Rush Limbaugh's birthday. That was...
Oh, my God!
They put it on the governor's desk, and he fortunately was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna sign that.
How do you celebrate that? You get real high on oxys and punch your wife?
Yeah, Rush Limbaugh Day in Missouri doesn't sound like Mardi Gras. It ain't.
No, that sounds awful. That sounds awful.
They give you the day off to play golf and smoke cigars and be an asshole.
I guess they do, man. I mean, man, how many different personalities have been? I mean, and obviously, people with literally no credentials.
Yes.
People.
Oh, he is the king of failing up,
Yeah, man. Yeah. You keep on seeing this, these people who have taken these just weird career paths, into this, and then end up being these, talking heads. And it's just y'all know that this is neither journalism nor this is entertainment.
Yeah.
It's always been a weird thing to see that kind of thing and see and be sitting by somebody who's not seeing what the fuck you're seeing.
Yeah. Oh, I was trying to make a bit work about this forever, and I don't know if it ever will, but I'm going to keep trying because I fucking love doing it. And it's talking about what the conservative radio host people's previous jobs were. because all of them have the weirdest shit they did before they were doing the thing. And my two examples I give, there was a guy, his name was, he's passed away now, but his name was Jerry Doyle. And Jerry Doyle was like just pretty boring, like conservative commentator, just like, Rush Limbaugh clone number 597. But his previous line of work was he was an actor, and he was Garibaldi on Babylon 5, the 90s sci-fi show. Yeah, he was a character on Babylon 5. And so when he took calls, it was the most amazing spread, because you would get the regular people just calling in and just being like, well, Jerry, I believe that Barack Obama is a space Muslim, and let me tell you why. Or you would get a guy who would go, Jerry, on episode 7, season 5, the commander said to do, and like would get these wildly specific questions about Babylon 5 from nerds. And I was like, this is the funniest thing to listen to, because he would field both kinds of questions.
Oh, would he really though?
Oh yeah. He'd be like,
oh, that's rad as fuck, dude.
He'd be like, oh, well, that episode was tremendous because the director was blah, blah, blah. And he would go on about it. So,
oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Dude, well, that's that. I mean, that to me, I can see how that would be entertainment.
Yes,
with a person who is talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, half hate speech, half deep nerdery. The kind that can only come from Babylon 5.
Man, dude, what kind of weird fucking white supremacy shit is hitting up through the fucking the bronies? Have you heard about these things? Have you heard about how it's like Nazi been infiltrated by like neo-Nazis?
Yeah. Well, the bronies and the furries as well. There are like
man.
There's like alt-right furries too. Like
man.
I hate that for them. I'm like, just leave them alone, man. Let them do their thing.
How does that happen? And what? I mean, what? How?
Yeah. It's especially when it just happens to very niche groups like that, especially where you're just like, they're just trying to be themselves and have a good time. Why did we need to bring Nazis into the fur space?
It's weird.
There's already a group for Nazis. It's called the Nazis.
Right? Yeah,
go be
Nazis with Nazis. Yeah.
This is not a peanut butter chocolate two tastes that taste great together situation.
It's just wild, man. It's just wild how. I guess maybe we have just too many choices, and I would maybe that's what's going on. There's just too many people that you could be, too many identities out there.
The other one I always bring up is Michael Savage, who of course is just like one of the worst people ever as far as talk radio goes. But his previous life was as Doctor, and I'm using Doctor in scare quotes, Michael Allen Weiner, who was an herbal healer and wrote like 20 books on like herbal supplements and like vitamins and like natural healing.
What?
Yeah, he's like a homeopath. Like he's a con man twice over.
Oh man, I was just listening to this podcast about how Q infiltrated the New Age influencer. How Q got into there. I was listening to this podcast about like people who are just up there doing yoga, and the next thing they know, they're like, you know what? I bet our neighbor eats babies. And that's a weird place to find yourself, trying to goddamn talk about crystals, and then you know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, I'm sure they're all pedophiles. Like, what? How did this come up in a conversation? JFK Jr. is still alive. I get that now. Downward dog. But it's insane how easy it is, I guess, to be manipulated into a certain ideal, if in fact it allows you to have a community.
That legislative session in Missouri, by the way, there is also a bill, and this cracked me the fuck up. So there is a bill that officially recognizes the Gateway Arch in St. Louis as the official state monument of Missouri. And that's one of those where I was like, it wasn't already that?
Yeah. What is it?
What else could there possibly be?
Yeah.
To be your monument?
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't a...
I made a list because I was curious. I was like, what else could have possibly even been a candidate? And the things I found is they have, as far as their like top attractions, they have the Missouri State Penitentiary in Jefferson City. That's a big attraction.
What?
I think it's like their Alcatraz. Like it's like a closed down prison that you can tour or something. It's highly rated on TripAdvisor, I gotta say.
Now they do concert up here. Let's see, Alfred. I think Drew went to one somewhere in Tennessee. There's a little present that they do. Like Dwight Yoakam was there.
Oh, that'd be fun. Okay.
Yeah, man. I think it's pretty rad. So I can see that. If it's haunted, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's that. Apparently, there is a Titanic museum in Branson, which is famously landlocked. I don't know why they have a Titanic museum there.
Who made that deal?
I don't know. I imagine that has 1997 all over it.
Yeah.
Titanic is huge. Let's build a Titanic in the middle of Branson.
There you go.
And they did. It's a quarter size. Like, it's basically just like the whole front quarter of the ship is just sitting there, and that's the museum.
Wow.
Yeah. The only other thing I could think of that might be the official state monument or landmark of Missouri would be Nellie's house. And that's it. That's the whole thing.
I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's definitely on the list. St. Louis has got some has some good blues, and St. Louis got some good music in it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Nelly definitely was that dude.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, I mean, you mentioned that you were kind of working during the pandemic and stuff like that. Did you have any crazy experiences as far as strange things that happened in Dollar General besides what you mentioned? Or
buddy, let me tell you, man, like, for one, I gotta be honest, like, whatever give a fucks I had left about humanity left.
You are not the only person that's told me that. I've heard that a lot. I have a lot of friends who are just like, I'm just saying it. If someone does something fucked up, I'm just telling them they're fucked up from now on.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Either that or I'm just gonna be like, go ahead, be fucked up. Y'all fight, y'all kill each other, shit in the floor. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. I don't fucking care. I don't care. All right, I'm clocking in. I'm clocking out. It's a pandemic. Can't do comedy. Can't do shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need something to do. Number one, I have to do something. And hell, you need money and shit. So it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
And man, it was real crazy because Dollar General is like a fucking evil ass fucking company. And that was one of the things that I learned. I think overall, and I will say this, is like Dollar Generals need to unionize fast.
I think maybe people who live in, New York and LA maybe don't know this, but Dollar General is kind of the store in a lot of communities down south now. Like, I noticed just in the last 10 years, I would drive from Lee County, where I'm from, up to like Randolph County, where my grandparents live. And every one of those little small towns that used to have nothing in them, except maybe a gas station, they all have a Dollar General now.
Yeah, man. It's definitely in the heart of every rural town in America. You at least got two of them. And the thing about it is they're basically just like fucking sweatshops for fucking poor people. They don't treat their employees right. Like, there's no overtime. They will run. So during the pandemic, and this is the reason why I quit, they were trying to run that store on 4 people.
Jesus.
4 individuals. That's 2 in a day and that's 2 at night. Dude, like, you might get a day off. You might not. The manager of the store was clocking in 50 hours. No overtime. Just getting a flat salary. There was nothing going on. Like, nothing. They're fucking everybody. They're scared. They're scared to death. You got to watch videos about say no to unions. And, like, you have to do that every fucking month. Every month? Yes, dude. Yes, man. It's weird. They make you watch videos on that. They make you watch videos on stealing from the register, of course. And which I never did, you know what I'm saying? Because like there wasn't enough money in there, but like the rest of that shit, I stole that fuck out of.
Parody, allegedly.
Yeah.
It's a comedy
get better
show.
Cameras, motherfuckers. If you want to prove anything, but yeah, man. Goddamn, man. Oh man, dude. So here's a little confession I've been wanting to tell you. This. So and every time I see you, it's like, man, should I tell him? And I'm like, man, I don't know, man. It's kind of felt bad, but now that I've recovered and gotten off all the drugs and shit, I was so high on meth the first time I went to y'all's little place in LA. And when that peacock came out, buddy. I'm about shit, son.
Holy shit, dude.
I'm about to die, dog. I'm about to die. Dude, I'm about to die, dude. When I came back to that back gate and I saw that motherfucker there, I was stuck. I said, oh, fuck. And I was like, yo, man, it was, dude, I think about that all the time. That fucking cracks me the fuck up, man.
Yeah, for people that are maybe new to the show that don't know, back in 2014, 2015, Joe Raines, Wes Van Horn, and I ran a show at their place in MacArthur Park in the parking lot behind the house, and one of the neighbors had a full-sized peacock that would just wander around during the show, and and DJ came. I think you were at our first show, and it was it was pretty it was a great time. But yeah, we always did have to deal with peacock, so it was always a fun thing. But yeah, no, I didn't know that. That's hilarious.
It was very startling.
I bet. Hey, I was sober and it was startling. We watched that thing punk out a pit bull one time. Like,
I know you did, man.
The neighbors also had a pit bull, and we once watched that peacock chase the pit bull around the yard. You know, so
that's crazy. And what was that car that it drove, or not drove, but like
that it lived on?
Yeah,
it's a Jaguar.
It was a Jaguar.
It was a Jag.
That was fucking crazy. That was like my first. That was like I had been in LA for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And like a dumbass brought my habit with me, but like, yeah, man, I'll never fucking forget that shit, man. I will never, ever. Yeah, man, there's these Southern boy. Yeah, Yellowhammer, man. You can come down there and there's other Southern people. And I was like, all right, yeah. Great time. Had a great time. Hilarious fuck.
Yeah.
So glad I met everybody. But there was that moment where I keep on thinking about it. Like, oh my God, dude, that was so fun. In retrospect, if I could. It's like, how do you tell that story to somebody? And like, it's just so crazy. I guess you just had to be there.
Well, I mean,
we all ate fried chicken and it was fucking badass as fuck, man. It was a great time.
Yeah, ate fried bird and looked at a scary bird. All we did.
yeah. Well, it's just so weird. Like, it was just so random. So there's no way in that backyard. Like, dude, there's absolutely no way anybody could ever
prepare.
I don't think would ever. But yeah, dude, there's not.
You can't prepare for it.
Yeah, and you can't describe it either. You're like, I'm like, how do I explain? There's a peacock. There's a big, there was a comedy show going on, but like, you know what I'm saying? There was like comics I knew from around, but I was like really high and really fucked up about this peacock. You know what I'm saying? And like, I was like, oh my God, boy, DJ, you might have made some bad decisions in your life. Not bad decisions, but like you might not be in the right place right now. I don't think it was long after that I actually I probably took off, man.
Yeah.
I realized, man, like, you gotta get your fucking shit together, son. This is fucking wild. There's peacocks fucking driving Jaguars. I don't know if somebody was trying to tell me that was that Jaguar's car. Like, it was you don't ever want to be in it. I just can't. And it was, I don't know.
Calling in now from, I believe, Huntsville, Alabama, on the road once again is our friend. He is the host of the Well Read podcast and the host, along with DJ Lewis, of Into the Abiscuit, Drew Morgan. What's up, dog?
What up?
Hell yeah. Where are you at? You're in Huntsville? You're parked behind Stand Up Live right now.
DJ and I will be headlining here. When are we doing it? The 16th. But tonight I'm just doing the showcase. Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah. So I guess this is probably a good time to talk about Saturday, because that's what we're here to promote. Strike Fest going on in Brookwood, Alabama, at the UMWA local chapter there, and you guys are going to be doing stand up, and our friends who we've talked to earlier in the week, Lee Bains III, and my new best friend, no big deal, Mike Cooley. Ever heard of him?
No.
Yeah, we talked. We're buds now. No, y'all are all going to be doing this great event to benefit the strike fund for those miners who are trying to get
and
fair pay.
Let's talk about the fund and the miners in a second. But right now, how long did you do a podcast with Mike Cooley?
Oh, we talked for like 35 minutes or so, you know.
Wow. Because, all right, he came out to my show in Birmingham one time. He came to Well Read, I think it was, and he kind of talked to us afterwards. But he don't talk,
right?
And I'm not trying to be a cool guy, but like Patterson's my friend, and he'll invite me on the bus, and Mike won't talk on the bus. Mike don't talk, and after the show in Birmingham, he left, and we were like, man, I don't know if he had a good time. Yeah. And so I'm insecure enough. I just texted Patterson. I was like, hey, we saw Mike the other night. And he goes, yeah, man, he was raving about it. And I was like, in my head, I didn't say this to Pat, but in my head, I was like, okay, thank God. Because I don't mean to be a fanboy. I think it's weird when you fanboy, but I can't fucking help it with those two dudes.
Same.
Man.
I was tamping it down, dude, so hard. And it was so funny because all the tweets I got where people were like, oh, yeah, we could tell. We could tell you were kind of barely holding it together with that dude. Because you're right. He is, especially when you watch DVT, he's kind of like the silent killer. He's kind of just in the back doing his thing. And then he sings his songs and you're like, God damn, dude, this guy is so fucking cool. But he's almost intimidating because, Patterson is definitely he's the one who does all the interviews. And he's kind of the spokesman for the band. So to talk to Cooley, and he was fucking hilarious. He's like such a cool dude. So and we got him.
When he has talked, he's definitely been funny. He said the funniest fucking thing to me one time. We were backstage talking, and I was like, "Man, y'all been doing this for years. Like, does it ever get old? Like you've been on the road for so long, and I get tired of the road, but I don't get tired of the crowd. But do you ever get tired of the crowd? Does it ever not hit?" He said, "Are you married?" I said, "Yeah." "Are you tired of getting your dick sucked?"
Oh God, that's so goddamn funny. I mean, he's not wrong. Funny. I did my first stand up ever, my first stand up since March yesterday. And
my man said ever. That's how excited he was.
Not ever. That's how it felt, man. Like it was just like an open mic in somebody's backyard, but there was a bunch of people there, and it was all new comics. I didn't know anybody, so I got to try some new stuff, and then also toss off some of those polished things. I was like, they don't know me. Yeah. Perfect. And I was like, oh yeah, because I was honestly, and I think I said it on this show a bunch. I was like a little bit like, man, am I even gonna like it? Like when I go back to doing stand up, because we've been doing podcasts for we did 3 years worth of podcasting in like a year essentially, and so I've gotten so used to this space, and I'm like, is it even gonna hit the same or whatever? And then as soon as you get that first laugh, you're like, oh yeah, it's drugs. I forgot. Yes, it does.
Yeah. This is what it is.
Yeah, this is. Oh yes, I like this a lot. I'm back.
Did you say there's new comics?
Dude, I didn't know a single goddamn person there other than the people I came with.
See, I see people doing those bitter tweets. So like, I hope this pandemic clears out some of these fakes and all that. And every time I read one, I'm like, it might. It's also going to bring about a bunch of motherfuckers who are suddenly unemployed and got a lot of opinions about why.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Well,
actually, I mean, I can't, shame him on the show because I literally don't know the man's name, but the guy hosting the show was Cajun gentleman, and
I know him. I know who it was. Go ahead, though. I won't say his name either. I like him, but I don't know him that well. But I like him.
Well, he literally started the show by being like, "What do y'all know about them old the woke cucks? What do you know about the woke cucks?"
Maybe I don't know this guy.
Yeah, man, I don't know that guy.
And
I know him.
I fucking, it sucked because by the time I went on, they had started a different host and the moment had passed. But I was like, fuck, I wish I'd gone first because I could have done an entire 10 minutes just on anti-woke Justin Wilson, just being like, I get on tea, I smoke the cook, I smoke it real fine, I put it into, you get that nice roux going there, you get a roux and then you chop up that cook and then you stew it slowly with some smoked fish and some blackened seasoning. I get on tea. Like,
yeah.
Like, I wanted to turn it into a cooking show so bad, but anyway, the moment passed. But that's what it's like now. You're just like, wow, okay, yeah, I don't recognize any of you, and okay, yes, this is still an open mic. I like going up. I don't actually like watching this.
I like watching the new comics. I'm ready for a whole lot of these right wingers to come out and try to slay. I'm ready for them to. I know there's a lot of people out there who have been listening to other comedians who are going to in podcasts and what have you that seem to tend towards a more. Yeah, I'm ready for it. Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait for them motherfuckers to show up.
Buddy, come out to LA, man. It's that's the scene right now for some reason.
I know it. Buddy. Oh, I've heard now, and I don't know, but I've heard it's gotten to be the scene in a couple of the cities that I frequent, and I'm ready to really do what I do.
Yeah. After watching last night, part of me was just like, I read in Splitsider, y'all all moved to Austin. What are you doing in this backyard?
You, baby! I thought y'all was gone.
Yeah.
Now y'all here.
Yeah.
Well, that's because the ones who are rich enough to move to Austin. That's what you got to understand, Rivers.
Very true.
That's the thing that's sad is only the poor idiots stay behind who believe in that on a fucking religious level.
Yes,
but they don't have the money. They don't have the clout. Like they're just like, I wish I could move to Austin. See, now I'm doing it. Wish I could move to Austin, baby.
Yeah.
I had a brother that moved to Austin. He had to go up there. He went upstate. You know what I'm talking about? But that's happening in Nashville, and I'm spending the summer in Nashville. But I want to say two things. One is I've moved there very gung-ho in my mind just for the summer of like, okay, yeah, you guys going to move to Tennessee where you're allowed to be mask free and pay less. You moved here to be racist, first of all. Like, kiss my ass. Ben Shapiro, Tommy Loren. You moved here because you think you can be racist. Here's the thing about rednecks. You like rednecks, Ben Shapiro, Tommy Loren, and a slew of comics too, to be fair, until you get a redneck not on your team.
Yeah.
That's the thing about rednecks. Rednecks are like cops, frankly, where if they're on your side, if you got that energy on your side, you're like, this is the greatest thing ever. But let one turn on you. Just like ain't Ben Shapiro already been complaining about somebody throwing fucking Coca-Cola at him down on Broadway?
It's
like, yeah, man, you ran into a motherfucker. They ain't ready, son. You gonna run into a motherfucker named Earl who has a gay sister, and he will stomp your little ass. Also, did you forget you're Jewish, my friend? Sorry, I'm on one.
But you right. You goddamn dead right. I just told a motherfucker the other day, I was like, motherfucker, you are too police to be an outlaw. You are too black and white to be an artist. There's no way you can fucking touch me, motherfucker. I will burn you at the stake. You can't see me.
That needs DJ, stop.
Now,
stop.
let me say, all right,
hold on. We got to write that down. That's a t-shirt right there. What you just said, you're going to sell millions of them. Oh, yeah. That's a shirt. I would wear that. You're too police to be an outlaw, and you're too black and white to be an artist. That is fucking poetry, dude.
Thank you.
Well, let me say this about the comics in Nashville, though. I mean, look, everybody knows who we're talking about if we're talking about famous ones. And some of these cats I got no problem with. Some of them, I guess, in some ways I do. But it's not what you think. I don't know what's going on in Austin, but in Nashville, they were like, yeah, we're going to move to the place where we can be free and not wear masks and do shows. But to be fair to them, they didn't get down there, most of them. And they're not suddenly like, oh, hey, guys, they're just doing their shit. So it's like, all right, respect to that. Like, you can afford a house here. Fine. Right. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't. Here's the thing is like, I do not mind at all any of that. What I mind is perpetuating toxic stereotypes and toxic ideals, especially when you don't understand them. Now, it might be good on that type of that culture, that one side of that culture. People like what's that boy's name? Redneck Bob or whatever. Billy the Redneck. What the fuck that motherfucker? Upchurch. Yeah, man. Like he's just steadily peddling out these really fucking toxic, bad fucking like it's. Not the knocking he's making money. I mean, I appreciate the game, but like fucking dude, like what? Like, I don't know, man.
Well, and getting back to our world, he was dating Nicole Arbor, the YouTube comedian, who's been very controversial and kind of right-wing Trumpy, and moved to Nashville.
Right. Yeah.
Like she moved to Nashville because it was like LA is too liberal, but Nashville's an entertainment city or whatever. And again, I don't knock that. I agree with you, DJ, and I would add to it. Also, don't pat yourself on the back for just moving to a place with cheaper taxes where you can do live comedy. This whole, we're brave and we're badass. We're going to move to Nashville and do shit. Now, again, I shouldn't say Nashville. That's mostly happened with the Austin scene.
Yeah.
But this whole, like, we're brave. We're moving down there to not wear our masks and do shows. Dude, you moved to a place to save money and get on stage.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, but there's nothing brave about it.
You ain't no fucking hero, dog. You ain't no hero, dog.
Also, I've been to Nashville and I've been to Austin, and they are not fundamentally that much different than Los Angeles or any other big city.
No, Nashville's not at all, dog.
Yeah.
Let's go outside of Carthage a little bit, homie, and then we'll see how much shit you talk.
Man, come do one of these barn burners with us. You know what I'm saying? Come out here.
Come to the miners' strike.
Bring that shit to the miners' strike.
Yes, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, but let's be honest. Some of them miners, they'd love some of that shit now. Now, don't get it twisted. Now, that's the thing about some of these boys who moved from L.A. and gals. They can bring it. Yeah. And that's what I was telling these young comics who was talking shit about one of the guys who moved from L.A. I won't say which one, but I heard a young comic in Nashville talking shit about somebody I know. And I'm like, look, I get it. He came to your scene, and now he's already got a house show at your club.
Yeah.
But don't act like that man can't do the job.
Right.
Don't tell me he can't get up here and sling these jokes.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, dude, that's the thing, though. Like, when it comes to comedy and it comes to the craft, like, there's some fucking good fucking comics out there. Regardless of what they do, where they're moving, what they're doing, there's some goddamn fucking flamethrowers out there. So respect the game. You know what I'm saying? But, like, there's a different thing going on. Like, there's a different thing that's going on that we ain't trying to, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you know, this is something that my new best friend Michael Cooley was saying. No, he made the point because we kind of asked him about, you know. Sorry, I'm going to be doing it for a long time. I'm just going to be doing it for a while. It's too cool.
It was so crunchy. It felt that in my soul, man.
Yeah, man.
But he was, you know, because we were asking, like, you know, the truckers have played 47 of the 50 states over their 25-year career. And I was like, and, you know, and we were kind of talking about going on the road and having people disagree with your politics or whatever. And he brought up the point. He's like, it's not about geography. It's about rural versus urban. And it's always been like that. And if you think that, you know, to kind of extrapolate that point that, you know, oh, just because I'm in Nashville means everybody there is conservative. No, they're not. That's a crazy thing.
It is rural versus urban, but I also want to hammer home that rural is not a monolith, nor has it historically been what it is now. Now, I will say it's been what it is now, you know, just generally. We're speaking in generalities here, of course, since like the 90s. But, dude, I mean, you want to talk about, this miners' strike. You want to talk about organizing on the left and the whole labor movement in this country. Yeah. There was a lot of city folk involved in that, but there was a lot of rural folk with the mines and what was going on with the textile mills in Carolina. And you hear textile mill and you think, well, that's city. Nah, not back then. I mean, back then, this was all the Scarsboro, Greensboro. These were smaller towns. These were country folk. Oh, yeah. Now it's a city because the textile mill blew up, maybe. But you and your best friend Mike are correct. But I always want to harp on rural is not a monolith and it's not static. It's been dynamic over time. It's changed and we can change it back.
Yeah, man. And also, I think that's a big point that you're making and why it's so frustrating to see people kind of like, cause we're out here in the trenches, man. We stay in the trenches, dude. There's people, there's people out there, at the North Fork people in Kentucky, what they're fighting for, like we're like literally doing out here trying to raise awareness, fighting people. There's people giving up time, giving up blood, giving up money to help these people. And like for you to just come in here just to make $1 for your fan base to say a fucking shitty joke is some real bullshit and push that kind of fucking bullshit idea. It's some bullshit.
Let me just zero in what he's talking about because these folks deserve more than a mention. The Norfolk folks, it's a trailer park in Kentucky where a developer just sold the whole trailer park with no notice to the folks there. They lived there for years. They own the trailers, but not the land they're on. Yeah. So they can move the trailers, but some of them do. Some of them don't even own the trailers. But the ones who own them, like they could move the trailer, but that's $10,000 or $5,000, and they don't have that. It's a whole thing. And New York Times just picked it up. They picked it up because of work that people like Misty Skaggs and Eastern Kentucky Mutual Aid are doing. Justice for Norfolk is an organization there in Kentucky. Warren Tidwell, who helped put together what we're doing on Saturday with the labor report, the Valley Labor Report.
Shout out to Warren.
These are the folks doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
And, for sure. And when you're in comedy and we're in this weird culture war thing we got going on now, and there's woke and PC and free speech and all this shit, you can get fucked up in that and forget that, like, man, these are people, like
humans, man.
Austin's full of humans. Austin's full of like queer Texans moving to Austin to try and get out from underneath their, rural church-led town that they're stuck in. And I don't mean Joe Rogan shouldn't go there. It's just like, Hinchcliffe, my man, you're out here dropping the C-bomb. Like, oh, these Cowboys will like it. That's what pissed me off.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want to say it.
Yeah, man.
Say it in L.A.
Yeah,
then.
man.
Yeah. That's
because I know some Asian Cowboys, not many, but one or two.
Right.
If they'd have been there, you might have got a fucking hole stomped in your head.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sure good at.
Yeah, say that shit to The Rock, okay?
Yeah, man.
Say that shit to Batista. There's plenty of Asian guys that will fuck your shit up.
Yeah, man, that's another thing, man. Don't fucking talk it if you ain't walking it, man. That's some fucking bullshit, man. Now, if you believe in your whole heart, you know what I mean, and like be a racist fucking whatever you want to be. You know what I'm saying? There's, hell, you could join a furry. You could be a furry club. There's plenty of places now. You don't just have to go to the Nazi club now. There's plenty of places.
Apparently. Yeah, don't. Please don't.
You could be racist anywhere these days.
Yeah,
if you put your heart into it.
Yeah, you can find someone.
You can make your own. We did.
You
that
can just go to the comment section.
There you go.
It's really like a Klan rally now. Look at any kind of news channel saying about Trump or something like. You just go down through there. It's like a Klan rally. It's just like that's where they all meet up. They're just waiting for the next news article. That's what kills me too. Here, let me go find the dumbest fucking thing on the internet, get mad, post about it, and go, look how dumb this is. I'm so mad that this is dumb. It's dumb. And I'm mad. And it's so fucking, and it's just.
Yeah. And I try not to play that both sides bullshit, but that is a both sideser. It's like everybody seem to be trying to get mad over the dumbest shit. And on that note, since I did bring up comedy and I didn't mean to drop Hinchcliffe's name, but I already did. But let me just say this. I still have not seen someone get in actual long-term trouble for something funny.
I haven't either.
It's happened for unfunny shit,
right?
And people have gotten mad over funny shit, but it goes away. If it's funny, it fucking goes away in 2 days. But anyway, comedy's in a culture war right now, Rivers. I don't know if you knew that, and whether you want to be or not.
No.
Whether you want to be or not, it sucks. That's what sucks the most is whether you want to be or not. You're in it.
Right.
Well, here's the thing: it's like you can talk about it and you can give your opinion. It's the best thing to do is just go out there and fucking set fire to that stage, baby. Set fire to that stage.
Honestly, that's the best thing about doing a podcast like this is because if I've got opinions, I can put them here for people who actually are interested in hearing them. And then when I go out there, it's like I can watch someone do something like that Cajun guy just being like, "Oh, the woke cooks," and I can just be like, "Well, that's hilarious," and then just kind of.
I was just gonna say, I gotta say that's pretty funny.
If there was a deeper joke there, yes, but that was it.
Yeah.
Like he just said that in that voice, like he just said that sounding like a cartoon alligator, and I'm like, okay, well.
I hope we find out that was some hipster and it was a character he invented and he fooled Rivers.
That'd be incredible, dude.
Like all his young friends knew.
Hats off.
But I don't think it is. I think I know who it was. I'm gonna ask you when we're off, Mike. Let's talk about the minors in the show.
Yeah. So first of all, I guess how did you guys kind of get involved with the whole thing?
Lee and Warren separately messaged me and DJ.
Nice.
Warren Tidwell is an organizer, a writer, and an all-around amazing man, mentor in Alabama who does mutual aid work. His whole philosophy, and I don't want to speak for him, but we had him on the podcast. To me, DJ, you can tell me if I'm speaking out of turn, it seemed to boil down to we can keep being upset that no one will help us being Alabamans, or we can just do it. Yeah. And that philosophy and work has taken him to New Orleans with Katrina. It's taken him all over the South and all over Alabama. And he talked a lot about, like, he used to do work where after a flood, all right, this place had diapers. This place had too much wood. I'm going to bring y'all diapers. I'm going to pick up that wood, come back here, start rebuilding, drop off the diapers. It's that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And it's really impressive. And then Lee Bains, I think needs no introduction, but I don't know who all listens to your podcast. Lee Bains and the Glorifiers are...
Check out the previous episode from yesterday.
I think they're the best fucking Southern rock band, since the Truckers.
Yeah, they fucking rule.
Yep, they fucking rule.
They're so rad. And Lee's a rad guy. He's about that life.
Yes.
Lee's the most Jesus-like person I've ever known. And I tell him that, and he hates it.
I'm sure he does.
Because he thinks I'm going to murder him on a cross.
Yeah.
But he walks that life. Like, he's good to people. And every time I've seen him in a concert, he talks about issues.
Yeah.
Right before, and I can see people be like, "We're kind of with you, Lee, but get to the rock." And he's like, "Nah, man.
No.
Here's the fucking monologue right now.
Yeah,
you're gonna hear it.
I love it
About Angela Davis.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And this extends to both of y'all as well. I think it is very important for people not in the South to hear people with the voices that we've all got saying those things because it is very important to be like, yeah, no, we're not a monolith here. Like, there are people here who are fighting for good shit, and people need to be aware of it. And yeah, Lee Bains is definitely just a guy I really admire for that exact reason you're talking about. Because every time I've ever seen him, no matter what, he's going to fucking tell you why he wrote this song and why it's important that you kind of see his point of view on it and stuff like that. So
when guys like that ask you, I'm going to try not to get emotional. When guys like that ask you for help and honor you by saying, I think what you do will help, will be entertaining for these guys. I mean, that's the thing. Lee called me and he's like, look, man, there's a lot of bands I could get, but they're like, and I love them, but they're like hipster socialists. These minors ain't gonna give them the time of day. Like, whether they should or not, whether they actually have a lot in common with them or not, they're not gonna give them the time of day. But I think you and DJ, they're gonna like you. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You don't say no to that. You don't fucking say no to that.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah.
And then you go out there and you put on a good goddamn show, baby. You put a laugh in every belly in there because each and every one of them motherfuckers deserve it. And man, oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so stoked. They're going to be showing it. They're doing a live stream at youtube.com/The Valley Labor Report. It's actually going to be, they're doing a marathon. They're starting on Friday and going all the way to Sunday with the live stream. But I absolutely cannot wait to watch the show. I'm going to put it on the fucking big TV. I'm going to make some popcorn and some drinks and shit. I'm so stoked for it.
Yeah, man. I'm probably actually gonna head down there Friday night. Is exactly what the fuck I'm gonna do.
Damn. I wish I could.
Well, I'm in Huntsville now. I'm gonna stay at Key Bumps tonight, and then I was gonna stay at Key Bumps tomorrow or head down tomorrow. We got to figure it out, cuz.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah. I want to go. I want to go give Corey a hug tomorrow. But
I know, me too, man.
Yeah.
I thought about
you want to come down here? We can take my car. Yeah, you can come down.
I might do that.
Anyway, sorry.
No, I love peek behind the curtain.
DJ and I don't text. We just wait till we're on a podcast.
Yeah. We watching the sausage get made, Yeah. We're making a rule for this delicious combo of comedy.
You can listen to our podcast. It's called Woke Cooks.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, yeah, like I said, man, I'm very much looking forward to it. And for people listening, the way to donate is to watch the YouTube stream, and they're going to have all of the information as far as how to donate to this extremely worthy cause on the stream and everything like that. And definitely, if you got $1, man, this is a very worthy cause to throw it that way. Even if it's $5, whatever you got, that is going to absolutely go to help these people and their families who are just trying to live their lives, man, just trying to get equal treatment and fair pay and everything. So could not be a worthier cause. And I love y'all for doing this. It's such a great thing, man. I saw that poster when it dropped, and I looked at the names on there. I was just like, damn, man, this is my dream here, man. I want to be there so bad, but I'll definitely be watching on YouTube.
Wes said he's gonna get a sit in, huh?
Oh, Wes is gonna come, yeah.
Yeah, Wes told me that, and he's just like, yeah, I hardly remember any of my jokes. I'm like, just give me a call. I know your whole catalog, actually.
Yeah. Oh, man, yeah, dude. I cannot wait. I can't wait.
I was like, open with the corn pops. I got to have my pops joke and go from there. they'll love that shit. So.
Well, I was going to say, too, Mike Cooley, your best friend. He's your best friend now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think he's our colleague now. I feel, I think.
That's right.
Are we peers?
I think, we were mentioned in the same Rolling Stones article.
Oh, hot damn. All right.
Except our names weren't highlighted.
Yeah. Just search Rolling Stone Woke Cook.
Woke Cook.
You gotta type it. And there you are. In French, Creole.
How do you like gospel punks for fucking glorified?
I saw that.
That was the best.
I was like, what a great way to describe. Never been able to really accurately describe it, other than just be like, just go to the show with me and you'll get it. But what a great way to put it.
No, it's like, dude, gospel punk. Oh God.
Yeah, I do think Lee has become more and more the good parts of his religion have seeped in over the years into the music. So I give that writer credit, but I'm defending you guys for being surprised by that perfect description. I think like that's a later album's description.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, okay, I thought that was going to go over better. I take it all back. Woke cooks.
Woke cooks.
What do you expect from a woke cook?
All I had.
Well, I really appreciate y'all doing this. Please tell people about Into the Abiscuit and Well Read and all the other stuff that you guys got going on. We'll start with Drew. Tell us what you got going on, my man. What do you want to plug?
Oh, I want to plug DJ and I's tour. We're calling it tentatively as a place. It was like a place filler, and now I think it's just the name of the tour. It's DJ and Drew Comedy Revival.
Ooh, damn!
We're gonna be in Raleigh at the Improv on May 27th. We're gonna be at Zany's on June 3rd. We're gonna be at Huntsville Stand Up Live June 16th. We're gonna be in Asheville on June 18th and 19th, and Knoxville June 20th. You can listen to the Well Read podcast or Into the Abiscuit. You've already heard about those, and also. We like to do a bunch of mutual aid type shit and comedy shit on Zoom. We do it every other Friday. Just follow us on social media. I'm Drew Morgan Comedy. DJ, go ahead.
Yeah, man, all that stuff, and yeah, man. Any kind of if you're especially I love rural artists. Basically, if you're a crafty motherfucker, you don't have to be a rural person, but generally that's what we do the art stuff, art share stuff. Yeah, man, hit us up. Look at our artists. Look at the art. Share your art, and do that. Just I guess follow us on. I don't know.
Yeah, follow us.
I don't know how to do this part.
You were close.
That's great.
No, you forgot to say the name of it. Woke Cuck. But other than that, no. You were close. Basically, he was saying that I forgot to add that we're getting very into rural art, sharing rural art, giving rural artists a platform. So follow us if you're into that. I'm Drew Morgan Comedy, and he's Gutter Bumpkin.
At Gutter Bumpkin.
Goat Daddy.
Goat Daddy. He is actually a fucking Goat Daddy. The goat has been on cam this whole time, chilling out. I love it. Oh, man. I'm coming back down south in October. I really hope to see you guys in person.
Oh, absolutely, man.
I'm all vaxxed up, so I'm going to give you a big hug when we see each other. And
oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, we'll do some comedy somewhere, maybe. We'll try to work something up. Well, cool, man. Thank y'all so much for talking to me, and I'll be watching at youtube.com/The Valley Labor Report on Saturday. That's going to do it for us this episode. It has been a hell of a week for us. Absolutely incredible. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rivers Langley, and you can follow the show at The Goods Pod on Twitter. Be sure to send me some clips for that Best of the Corona Diaries clip show, date, episode number, or timestamp, if you please. The best way to support this show, head on over to patreon.com/thegoodspod. Join the Tower of Power. It's just $5 a month. Second best way to support this show, of course, is to head over to Apple Podcasts, give us a rating, give us a review, and subscribe to the show. Show the attitude of gratitude, folks, because if you don't have the attitude of gratitude, daddy, fuck you. We'll see ya next week.
This song's about the walls that have been built in our cities to segregate them, here in Birmingham in particular. How walls have been built through school zone manipulation, through gerrymandering, through white flight, through gentrification and displacement, through suburbanization, to build cities on our walls and to split us up along ethnic lines and class lines and racial lines. It's about tearing down those walls to create a shining city on the hill where there's room enough for all of us to live free and supported and educated and healthy and with a living wage, no matter what color we are, what language we speak, or how much money we have. It's about tearing down city walls. Let's do it. Like a cannon, I'm from the ridge, I'm out 16.